Finally, the third edition of How to Make Partners to Have a Life is now published. And in this short video, I wanted to touch on some of the reworked, the new parts of the book. So even if you've got edition 1 or edition 2, there's a lot of new stuff in here. So what do I want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about chapter 5. And in the book, we always previously talked about, alternative asset management, how to keep your body working at peak performance. But actually in the third edition, what we've actually addressed and what we've updated is the fact that your mind drives your body. It's actually your power of your mind that drives the state of your body. And actually, if you're going to make it to partner, you've got to keep your mind and body healthy. And it doesn't matter what you're doing or how you're doing. If you do not have a healthy base on which to work on, a firm foundation, it's almost impossible to A, be good at your job, and B, move your career forward. So this is why when we go into part 2 of the book, which is the foundations to build a successful and happy career, we start with how to keep your mind and your body in top performance. And I wanted to touch upon something that I talk a lot outside in my work on both sides of my business, and it is about the 4 foundational habits. Now, these 4 foundational habits are the habits that you need to prioritize above all else. Now, a lot of standard leadership theory says, hey, have a goal, set the goal, and then you'll be better. But actually, if you don't get these 4 habits right, it doesn't matter how many goals you set yourself, you're never going to get there. So what are the 4 foundational habits? Well, the first one is about sleep. Prioritizing getting good quality sleep. Now, this isn't about getting 4 hours, 5 hours. Typically, and if you read the book, the Matthew Walters book on why we sleep, you'll identify that actually most of us need minimum of 7 hours sleep a night. But you might be saying, well, I get by on 4. Maggie Thatcher got by on 4. Ronald Reagan got by on 4. Well, let me tell you the honest truth. Now, I'm in the UK. There are 22 people in the UK that actually have a genetic disorder called DREC2. And what DREC2 says is that they don't need sleep. In fact, I met one of them, and he told me that of the 22, 16 are related. Now, if you crunch the numbers, you've got a more likely chance of getting hit by lightning than having this sleep disorder where you don't need sleep. In fact, the guy that was talking to me said actually he needs to sleep about once every other day. But he did tell me that the average age, life expectancy for somebody with this condition is 42. Let me sink that in. For somebody that doesn't get sleep, the average life expectancy is 42. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, when you sleep, your body repairs, it recharges, your bones heal, your cells heal, your brain flushes out of toxins. And actually, there is a strong line of scientific thinking at the moment that says that if you're not getting enough good quality deep sleep, you're not flushing out the toxins of your brain. Now, that's a given. But some of those toxins are the plaque that forms on your brain that starts Alzheimer's and other dementia-related degenerative diseases. And if you're not flushing out those toxins, you're leaving the bad stuff. And that's why they think that most degenerative brain diseases start 20 years before the symptoms show. So if you're not getting enough sleep now, and this has been maybe a feature of your 20s and 30s, that's going to catch up with you in your 50s and your 60s. In fact, if you don't get enough sleep, it causes higher blood pressure. It causes your blood sugars to swing, so you're more likely to overeat, obesity, which then helps with diabetes. And actually, sleep and lack of sleep leads to the 4 big killers: cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and there's one more in there, Alzheimer's. Sorry, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, the 4 big killers. Lack of sleep is the biggest one. When you're tired, it's really difficult to give in to impulses. This is why it's so important that your first foundational habit is about sleep. The second foundational habit is about actually getting the right kind of food and drink that you need. If you don't refuel yourself, how do you expect yourself to work at your best? And when I talk about refueling yourself, I'm not talking about choosing the better quality wine. I'm talking about food that really works for your body. You know, for many of us, and me included, there's a lot of foods that inflame my body. You know, I'm a celiac. I really struggle. I've lost the ability to digest lactose, so I struggle with things like dairy. And actually, what they've discovered is that when your body is inflamed, it basically stops your body to work at its best, but also that is the stuff that starts aging your body. So, you know, you wouldn't put poor quality fuel into a Ferrari. So why are you stuffing your self full of stuff that's got unhealthy fats in? Most fats are good, but there are some the processed trans fats that are unhealthy. Why are you putting stuff that's really high in sugar? Because that's just a quick way to start being pre-diabetic. And actually, when they look at it, when you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, you're more predisposed to the other three big killers: cancer, dementia, and cardiovascular disease. Let's look at the third foundational habit, and that is about exercise, or as a minimum movement. So why is this so important to us? Well, the first thing is that exercise and movement reduces inflammation in your body. The second thing is that exercise and movement actually reduces your body's reaction to pressure. You know, when your body comes under pressure, let's call it stress, it starts to, the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in place, and it starts to fill your body through of adrenaline and cortisol. And that's fine if you're trying to get rid of a saber-toothed tiger by running away or fighting it. That's not fine for our daily life. What does the impact of those two hormones do? Well, first and foremost, they take blood away from the unnecessary organs, so your digestion. It puts your blood into your muscles to enable you to run fast. And actually, it puts your body into a state where all it's trying to do is answer the one question: what do I need to do to survive? The problem is that if you don't forcibly relax, which will help your body dissipate adrenaline, or exercise, because of course the fight, it will accumulate in your body. And what does it, when you become over-adrenalized, that stops the production of melatonin. Melatonin is the precursor to deep sleep. If you don't have enough melatonin, you're going to have a poor quality night's sleep. Therefore, you're going to wake up tired the next day. And then, of course, the little things that wouldn't have bothered you start to bother you. So you start pressing the adrenaline button, which means you've got more chance of being over-adrenalized. So this is why exercise helps, because A, it helps dissipate adrenaline, but it helps in many other ways. 2, exercise helps your body form serotonin, which is one of your happy hormones. Serotonin is the precursor to melatonin. Serotonin also helps your mind think more clearly. So that's why when you've got a difficult problem, if you actually stop and take a 10-minute break and go for a walk, you'll be amazed how much more clearly you can think. And your body wasn't designed to sit still. You know, this is where, of course, exercise is great for helping you eat what you like. I'm a great believer in exercising so I can enjoy a slice of cake, but everything in moderation. And then the fourth thing is about recharge time. You wouldn't run your car 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You would add in some preventative maintenance. You take it to the garage to get its oil changed, get its filters changed. And you are just the same. You are a finely tuned machine. Allowing your brain to switch off, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through doing something you love, does a couple of things. One, when you're on the go, when you're wired, your brain is full of gamma rays. And when you've got these fast-moving rays running through your brain, what it means is that you cannot access the stuff in your subconscious. And when you're at your best, you want to be able to access, or have times when you can access what's in your subconscious. When you start to relax, when you start to get in a more mindful state, your brainwaves switch from gamma into alpha. And when you're in alpha, these are these slower waves, which actually means that you've got more access into subconscious, that you can reach more stuff that has meaning for you. So let me just we do a lot more in chapter 2, and I've just given you a taster of those 4 foundational habits, that part 2 of the book. And this is chapter 5, and it includes talking more about the why, these 4 foundation habits. It also goes in how to actually change what you do and sustainably set up your habits, but also what to do when, it doesn't matter how much sleep, whatever, how much you eat properly. Sometimes life throws you curveballs. And it also gives you some tips and techniques to do that. So, go and get your copy. As I said, it's been massively, the 3rd edition has been massively rewritten. If you go into the comments, if you go into the area below, you'll find a promotional code, but also where to get it from the publisher and get 20% off using the discount code.